Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. I was just trying to figure out my sunglasses situation because it's a sunny bright day in Texas and we're off to an adventure. I can't wait to share this one with you. I'm going to share kind of what all we get into today and then check out the next couple of videos and you'll see a little bit more of the locations themselves. But today I'm going to be going with my parents and we're going to be taking a very interesting travel day that costs very, very little. I want to do a series of videos while I'm here in Texas to show you some of the things that you can do without breaking the bank. In this economy, we could all have a good budget adventure, and we're going to get back to the roots of the channel, which was showing you guys free and cheap stuff. So today, buckle up, Buttercup, and let's see what all we can find. I gotta put my shoes on though. Okay, now we get to put it in the sleeve so I can hike with this and have my hands free. The best thing ever is this little guy. With that, today is going to be interesting because obviously we have a busy day ahead. I've had several suggestions for my Texas adventures, and amongst those, some really great ones that I have absolutely either never heard of or never been to or never been through. And so today I thought we would start off by going to Cicso, Texas, where there's an abandoned zoo. This is a little bit different than what we normally do when we go to the zoo to see all the fluffy, cute animals. So I thought this could be really cool, but there's also another place that's in the same town that is pretty neat that relates to one of the most infamous families in all of hotels, the Hilton family. At least that's what I've been told. So we're gonna find that out, and we're gonna also possibly see the world's largest at one point in time swimming pool, all in Texas. Of course we are. But with that said, we're taking it back to the old school because I'm an old fool who's so cool. Yeah, whoop, there it is. That's going to be the song of the day because why not? My channel started out with all of these budget-friendly adventures, and throughout the years I've tried to stick to that as much as possible. However, at times we've done things that have been a splurge. Today is not going to be a splurge. It's going to be just like a regular, everyday, you can do this today. I want you guys to feel super empowered to get out there and seek out adventures, even if your budget is super tight, because so is mine. So is mine. I completely understand. So get out there and have a good time today. Let me know in the comment section of this video what kind of things that you have Googled with your Google thumbs to find near you after this adventure and that you might be doing. I think that that would be really fun and a way for us all to like high five friends ourselves and all get out there and motivate each other. But with that said, I still have to get together my eye drops. I need like a little overlayer because you know, you never know where you're gonna end up. And I think that I'm gonna take some geocaching things with me as well, just so that I can geocache if I find anything, because you know, my parents and I, that's what we enjoy doing. So we'll see what happens today. But again, I'll show you kind of what the day looks like today and then all of the dedicated videos for the adventures tomorrow and the following day, just because that way we can have a little bit more of a deep dive with some brain wrinkles. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be super, super fun. So let's go. Okay, I have some eye drops. I have my geocache bunnies. I've just been carrying this smaller bag because I just honestly haven't taken the things out since Riley was here. And then I have my little jacket. So I think I am good to go here. Okay, I went ahead and came outside to make sure I have everything done and just to kind of see how it feels and how bright the sun is. And it is a bright one, that's for sure. So I think that these are definitely going to work out for my eyes. I also have noticed we are having an infestation of mosquitoes just because it's been so rainy. So there's so much water that is just lurking around. So I'm gonna go ahead and put something on that kind of repels them also before I head out, hoping that I don't get eaten. Of course, the most important thing was I was coming out here to get something out of the van. Infamous words of Keith Lee, we got it, let's try it, let's go. Well, maybe that wasn't completely Keith Lee. And if you have no idea who Keith Lee is, he is a very, very impactful food reviewer who's just a regular Joe, just like the rest of us, but he goes to places and checks out great food. If you've never seen him, check him out on TikTok. I thoroughly enjoy his reviews. Anyway, though, we do have my tripod. This thing has been the best tripod that I have had. I've tried a couple of different kinds of tripods over time. This one's awesome because it does some cool stuff. Let me show you. You know, I've used a lot of different kinds of tripods. I've used a lot of like magnetic mounts, and one of my tripods that I really liked, it had this little base that would come out, and it started to get a little weird, so I was going to replace it, and instead I have upgraded it. So this one pops down, pops out and I can set it up and just literally walk away from it as long as it's on a semi-flat surface. And the best thing about this is it has this little bracket on there for my cell phone, which is more convenient for me to use whenever I'm hiking than my big camera, and then it just folds back down to this. There's a little button on the bottom. Again, it just kind of pushes out and like that, and so it gives it a nice sturdy base. It works out pretty well for me whenever I'm traveling by myself if I want to get some really cool shots and I don't have like an assistant like Riley or somebody. So we're going to take this with me. Not to mention it also has this little adjustment knob where I can do like a selfie mode where I can flip it, you know, so that's kind of cool. I enjoy doing that. I always try to share things that you guys can find that could help you on your journey. This is super durable, and I'll put it in the description below if you're interested in doing a YouTube channel. Don't ever feel obligated to purchase anything that I share, that I use. But if you already are looking for something like this, I would recommend this one because it's a good one. It also has a digital like button on it that you can use that's really cool. I don't really use that feature, to be honest, because I just prefer to set my shot, hit record, and then do it. But pretty cool, pretty cool. Way more structurally sound than the last one that I got, and not that much difference in price point considering. So yeah, just my 2 cents though. So with that said, I think I got everything out of the van, and we're not taking Dimples with me today because I only have 2 seats and there's 3 of us who are going, so it just makes more sense to go in the car. So since we're not taking Dimples, I'm going to go ahead and close and lock. Maybe. So now we're just waiting on my parents, and then we're gonna hit the road. Whoa, mosquito. See what I'm talking about? They're bad. Okay, it's time to go. Okay, so we're deciding to make our first pit stop, and it's for a geocache. Dad and I both on the blue team today, and we're going to look for this micro. Now this one is located in a cemetery on the way toward our location, and it looks like it's a nicely maintained cemetery, so we're not afraid to kind of go in there and kind of look around. Sometimes when they're overgrown it can get a little bit sketchy because, you know, sneaky snakes. I have my geocaching items with me. I don't know if we'll need them or not. This is a micro, but we're going to start off with geocache this morning to get the blood moving, and then we're going to drive about 2 hours to where we're going next. Okay, Dad's opening the gate for us, and then in we go. Okay, we're just kind of looking, and we think it's going to be located in this tree area, and we're looking for little crevices. Dad's poking at something. He might have found something. It doesn't have much information on this one for the clue, so we're just kind of looking up and down. I'm also going to try to see if this one has any other tips in the comments, I think. Oh, Dad found it. Oh, okay. That one's a tiny one, and I don't have a pin, so we're just going to log this one, and Dad has 1 victory today. This is a really nice cemetery. It apparently has about 45 stones in it, and it goes by 2 different names. And so it was interesting just to kind of come out here and see this smaller place. Now Dad is up 1-0. I don't know how many of these we're going to do today. I don't know if this is going to be our main thing or if this is just going to be a little side quest that we did for this first one, but pretty cool way to start the day. Definitely good stretch. Okay, for this next one, we just stopped off kind of at a historic site. And the cool thing about Texas is we have all of these historical markers. And as you stop off at different places that have historical markers, you can learn a lot about the areas that you're going to, just looking at them. Now, this looks like a cemetery. We thought initially it might have had a geocache. It does not. However, it is a very well-maintained cemetery. This is the Cundiff Cemetery. And this historic marker was the most interesting thing, though. You should definitely look up the Texas Historical Commission or the state that you're in and see if you can find all of the different historic markers. They have maps of different kinds of things, and you can go off into little adventures depending on where you are based on that. You can even find like the Civil Rights Trail. You can find contributions like cemeteries and things like that, and they're all kind of organized, so that's pretty neat. But this one in particular, this says that Walker Moore subdivided all of his land to form the town of Cundiff originally in 1892, and he set aside this particular site right here for a cemetery. Now, several burials were already here at the time, and that's why this was a good place, including the oldest dated grave, who was from 1886. And I think that that's pretty interesting. They also have a few different people who are buried here who have served in various stages of war, and so this is maintained so people can come out here. It also has some family plots, but It's some of the earliest history of Jack County. And I think that that's just really neat. Again, look for these kinds of signs. If you're going through Texas, you can see the Historical Commission seal on here. And then you never know what you might learn. And as you go down the road, you can find little brown signs telling you, hey, one of these is a mile up on the left or the right. And then you'll know to prepare to look. This is a great way to spend absolutely $0 and have a great day. Just having a good day out and about in the beautiful weather. Oh, we pulled over and there's another one right there. This one's about Tonk Valley Community. It's really cool to find these all along our drive today. Okay, we made it to Breen Ridge and there is this guy as you come into town. He's pretty cute. We're just trying to see if there's anything interesting, and this is a big dog. I'm not sure what this business used to be, but it doesn't look like it's that business now. Just about the ride. Finding interesting things is the favorite thing that we do. And so Dad just was mentioning he's never been to this area, so he's just looking for anything that was interesting, and then we saw the big dog. So that's kind of cool. There are a few geocaches near the local park, and they have a really nice park here. So we thought we'd stop off and see if we can find at least one of them. I'm kind of excited about this because I've never been into Breen Ridge to like explore it. I've only ever stopped here for gas, and I thought it was a kind of neat town, but I've just never like explored. So we're gonna do a little bit of that with this. It'll be kind of neat. They have, it looks like a swimming pool, a skate park. They have two big playground areas and a really nice expansive space. And then off to the side, there's some disc golf. So we're kind of going over toward the disc golf area to find this one. So with that, Dad and I are gonna go off and explore. Mom's gonna change shoes in just a few minutes and join us on one of our other adventures, but she's just comfortable right now. And so Dad and I are in it to win it. As we're going out for this one, this is what it looks like on the map. You can see we're looking for the little dot, which I think is gonna be on the opposite side of the tree here. We're gonna find out though. I'm gonna pull up the map and kind of route it and see, and I'm kind of being careful because some of this grass is kind of scraggly. I was reading Dad the clue and he immediately saw it. The clue was reach in, and so Dad is reaching in and he found the cache. It's in a pill bottle today. It looks like there's a log in there and some swag. Cool. So we're gonna log this one and Dad gets it because I was reading the clue. I'm okay with that though. Okay, so we're gonna get this out because it was in there and I need to go get one of my bunnies to replace it. It has a little buffalo and an old stagecoach wheel on it, so that's kind of cool. I was still reading the clue so I could find out where we needed to go, and he was like, "Oh, found it." That was fast. Anyway, wasn't expecting it to be a large enough one so that we could use the cache, so I have to grab some of my little bunnies. I'm gonna take one out there and then we'll hit the road and get to the next one or to another part of the adventure. Okay, we're exchanging it for a pink bunny. We're gonna go put that inside the pill container. This is just a little clip that people can use. It's just something fun. Okay, little bunny Foo-Foo is hopping into the pill container and Dad's gonna re-hide it where he found it. When I'm the one who has the phone where we're looking at the coordinates and stuff, I tend to not be as good at these. Mom is currently trying to Google Lens our find to see if she can figure out what exactly it is. We're about to grab another geocache. I'm going to go ahead and prepare myself by pulling out a yellow bunny this time, and I'll take it with me just in case. This one has a comment that says, make sure that if there's too many people around that you just don't find this one. There's no one here today while we're here other than some maintenance people, so I think we'll be okay on this one. Oh, this is fun. This is super fun. Dad's at the historic sign that I saw that I was interested in. This is kind of cool. We saw this as we were driving by, and it has some interesting facts on here. Okay, so this sign was actually pretty neat because we found out that Breen Ridge was named after this guy's right here. His name is John Cabell Breen Ridge. He was the vice president in 1856. Now, the story goes on to talk about that he had a little disagreement with, his counterpart there. And in doing so, he ended up being exiled out of the country, basically. And it wasn't until 1868 when President Andrew Johnson issued a general amnesty proclamation that he returned. And he came back to Kentucky, where he was originally from. He ended up passing away at the age of 54. But before all of this, they found that he was a good person to name this community after because of some of these other things that he did. Anyway, so it's just an interesting story. Again, goes to show all of the cool things that you can find at just stopping off at a random park in a town that you might not have been to. I think that that is the theme of our adventures today. We can go out, we can have fun, we can spend $0 and we can find cool stuff. I would have never known that this Texas town was named after this particular vice president from Kentucky. I just wouldn't have known that. So that's why we stop, that's why we learn, and this is really cool. Looking for the southwest corner, and it's a magnetic cache, so it could be on the bridge, it could be on the bench. So mom's looking on the bench, dad's looking on this, and it says that if it's busy, don't try to find it. So we're looking, we're trying to see if anything's attached to the bottom. So we're trying all the metal surfaces because it's magnetic. So I don't know if we're gonna find this one, but we're trying. Still looking. We're trying to find it. There's been a lot of water. Oh, and then that's crazy looking under there. I don't know that I want to go under the bridge. I think that's okay though. This has been a fun park just the same. And it hasn't been found in many months. So I'm gonna crawl out of the creek area. Okay, so we're gonna stop off in Cicso to eat, and I found this place, which is called Muddy Mike's. It was the most recommended place to eat on Yelp, so we figured we'd try it out because we haven't ever been here. The food looked pretty good. Leaving in a little bit of a food coma now. The burgers were huge. Mom did a lighter option. She did soup today because she didn't want to be full for our next activity, which you'll see on the very next video. But oh my goodness, I really like the atmosphere in there. They had a really cool like bar area where they definitely have live entertainment. So this would be a really neat place to come to. Again, this one is called Muddy Mike's. So if you're ever in the Cicso area, check this one out. It's really good. While we're in Cicso, Texas, it would be really a misstep if we didn't stop off at the very first Hilton Hotel, which wasn't actually Hilton Hotel. It was actually the Mobley Hotel. Believe it or not, Conrad Hilton, the man from the Hilton Empire, actually got his very first hotel right here in Cicso, Texas. So there is a museum that's not open today, but there is a museum of the old hotel. Now this led him to go on to create other Hiltons and eventually found the Hilton brand of hotels, which became of course worldwide known still to this day. But at one point in time, he almost had to declare bankruptcy. That was a pretty long time ago. It was during whenever the oil bust kind of happened in this region. He was no longer able to make the profits that he was making, and he almost lost control of his entire startup of his empire. However, he was able to salvage it, and because of that, we're here in Cicso today to tell the story. But along the way, there's some other things here too, so we're gonna go down this way and check out something kind of neat, and then we'll circle back to the hotel. At the back of the property, just across from the park, there is this Union Pacific Railroad car. I'm not sure if we can go in, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Okay, there's some steps up, which are a little wobbly, and it looks like this one is closed, but the other end is open. Okay, back down the wobbly steps, specifically these three right here. Okay, so it was a real treat getting to come in here, and it's very different than some of the other cars we've been in. This is cool because as you walk into this section, you can see up into the section that pops out. So when we're looking at the outer model, it's like straight, and then it goes up, and then it's straight again. So there's this little section, and this is what that section looks like. It is interesting up here for sure. There is a restroom. Somebody has been vile in that restroom. We're not going in there. And then there's a little bed platform back here also. So that's pretty neat. But overall, this was cool. This was the stove. You can see a little stove pipe that goes up to the top. This thing is pretty large. I'm very excited about this. And one of the things I've noticed a lot when I've gone into different rail cars, this green seems to be used a lot. So maybe it's coincidence, I don't know, but pretty neat just the same. I'm gonna go catch up with my parents, and then we're gonna go over and look at this park just a little bit more, I think. And then also the Mobley. The Mobley is why we're here, and I'm so excited to share this. Around the grounds, they're clearly working on some other projects, like the fountain revamp over here. It's pretty nice. And we found an old bank tower that has like a clock on it. I think that this is the home of the Santa Claus High School. Well, as we came up to the hotel, we found this sign about the old Mobley Hotel and the first Hilton purchase of a hotel. This is pretty interesting because he was the world's foremost innkeeper, according to this. It was built in 1916, and this is actually something really cool historically because of course now we know Hilton to be such a huge brand, but it all started here in Cicso. Now this is the museum and the old hotel here. They're having a special occasion right now, so we can't go in there. However, we are gonna walk around and get a little bit more of a sense of this location. Of course, here is Mr. Hilton himself in bronze. This is Conrad Hilton, and he was once said to say, "To accomplish big things, I'm convinced you must dream big dreams." Very true, sir, very true. That's pretty neat. Here at the Mobley, we could find that. But we also found that little clock tower from the First National Bank. Now, why is that important? Well, believe it or not, during the Christmas holidays, a group of bandits, one dressed up as Santa Claus, decided to rob a bank of a very large amount of money right here in Cicso. It became known across the state of Texas and formed quite an interesting story arc in the state, let me tell you. So with that, now it has been recognized by the Texas Historical Commission on yet another one of those historic signs. And here you can find another one, of course, about Mr. Conrad and the Conrad Hilton empire that began. And it just goes to show that once again, around the state, there are all sorts of cool fun facts that you might not know about, but if you read those signs, you can find some really neat stuff. We just got finished up at one of the coolest, most interesting trails I've been to in Texas for sure, but there's something else that I want to show you. It's the world's largest concrete swimming pool. It's in Cicso also, and it's very interesting. They have fishing here now, but it's pretty cool. I just kind of want to show you. It's down from their dam, but it's very neat, and I'll show you why. Of course, first we have to go down the hill. Pretty neat. It's all concrete. And at one point in time, this was the largest in the world, and people would come here to recreate. They still have the little ladder rungs here. They've now added benches so people can fish. There used to be some other structures out here as well. Pretty neat to see though. Definitely unique. Just something to check out while you're also in Cicso. And if you like to fish, this is a catch and release fishing area. So pretty neat. Just make sure you have your fishing license. And I was looking up Atlas Obscura and Roadside America just to kind of see what I could find in this area, and that popped up. So really cool to just be able to come out here and visually lay some eyes on this. Now this park that we're at is absolutely free to visit during the day. They do have some campers here, but I'm not sure if you're supposed to camp or not, but that is something to look into if you're in this area. So with that said, back to the car and off to who knows where. I have no idea what's in store for us for the remainder of the day, but sure having a good time. We stopped off in Cicso and they have a lot of really pretty murals, and this one was one that we saw and it's just gorgeous. Look at this. It looks like it has little tiles. Ooh, it's definitely a mosaic. Look at all those tiny little pieces. Oh, that's so cool. Huh. You never know what you'll find whenever you go for an adventure. Next stop is a familiar favorite, Flying J. Even when we're not in the van, we're still going to Flying J. We're gonna go get a drink. They have an original fried pie shop in here. I don't know if we're gonna get any fried pies or anything, but at the road they have a really interesting display too. So yeah, this is a reliable, good stretch break. Good place to stop, to go to the restroom, get a drink. You know, Flying J stuff. I think you need a hat, Mom. I think you need this hat. No? Okay. Just kidding. It's cool though. So we got some of the fried pies from the original fried pie shop, and they had a bunch of different kinds. Mom got pecan, I got peach with cream cheese, and I think Dad got strawberry with cream cheese. So this should be pretty good. It's a nice little treat though after a good long day out. So I'm gonna enjoy this, and I think that's where I'm gonna wrap up today's video. I've had a really good time sharing this with you all, and I hope that you've enjoyed every part of it. I hope that you'll see that you can get out and just go for a drive and find some interesting things. Follow the historic road stops. You never know what you'll find. You could find some cool art, you might find the first of something, or you might find some cool history. Remember, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Bye!